If you're a Canon user or you want to become a Canon family, this is good news. Canon has released an amazing camera, the R6 Mark III. It's the best for content creator, filmmaker, photographer. However, I don't see it as the A camera for filmmakers like myself. Although I still have a Canon camera and it has been in my hand for the past almost 8 years and I bought it second-hand. Yet, I cannot get enough with it. The camera is still doing an amazing work. I shot film with it. I've shot TV series. I'm talking about one season of 17 episodes TV series. I'm talking about the second season that I'm working on it now with a 27 episode. It's still the camera that I'm using now to record this video. So let's get to it. I think you probably know already, the R6 Mark III is a full frame camera, 7K, open gate. With open gate 7K, you can get the best of the best that you can imagine. So the R6 Mark III has the same sensor as the C50. While the Mark II has 80K sensor, I don't know why, probably you can let me know on the comment below. The camera has CF Express Type B card slot and the SD cards, the normal SD cards that we use in big cameras. However, as we all know, CF Express Type B card or Type A, they are very expensive, but they have other advantages. The speed. As a person like me that worked before on DIT in a big production and small production, you need a card that you can copy faster and dump the image on the hard drive faster after the shoot or in between the shoots. You don't have to wait while people wrapped and they leave you behind, or cards are needed to be slotted in the camera again. So to have cards like this, the camera to support CF Express Type B in this little body camera like Canon R6 Mark III, it's amazing. And on top of that, you still have the normal SD card slots that you can still use if you still have these cards on your disposal. So I think Canon in this case, they have been very thoughtful on that. So the R6 Mark III has a viewfinder, unlike the C50. And I think this Canon have thought very through, because they try to categorize these cameras in these different features with different needs. The R6 Mark III looks more as a photography camera than a video camera, even though it has these amazing features. Unlike the C50, also doesn't have a viewfinder. So I think Canon is trying to tell us that the C50 is more for videos, while the R6 Mark III is more of a photography. Despite the fact that you still have all these features together, they should not be a problem for a person that want to do both things, photography and video. Yeah, and a few people complained why the C50 doesn't have a viewfinder. I think Canon had the answer already. The R6 Mark III has an amazing autofocus feature that allows you to take a photo of the face of a person and register it in the camera. Through it, technology will be able to remember this person even though it's in the middle of the crowd. So you could still be able to focus on that person without being distracted. And the best of that is that you'll be able to register up to 10 people. Can you see how amazing technology is taking us? Like, you'll be having 10 faces on the huge crowd of people where the camera will be paying attention on them. Let's say you are filming a movie scene where you have multiple extras, but you have your main cast, 3, 4, 5, up to 10, that you want them to stand out. So you can take photo of, you know what I mean. I'm trying to complicate myself, but the camera does better than my explanation. As I have explained it before, the camera shoots in open gate. Open gate, that means you don't have the limitation of 16:9, 4:3, all these ratios we know. You have a full frame sensor, open gate, up and down, left, right, the sensor is equal. And this feature, personally, I love it so much, because when I have anamorphic lenses, you'll be able to shoot anamorphic and de-squeeze in any squeeze factor that you want. The side effect of that is that the camera itself doesn't record anamorphic internally. So it gives you the flexibility in post to squeeze how you want, the way you want. The R6 Mark III has IBIS. IBIS stands for in-body image stabilization. Internal body stabilization. The camera has IBIS. That means you'll be able to control the jittering of the image if you're shooting handheld. But Personally, I don't care about it, since most of the stuff with this size of a camera, you'll be shooting in the gimbal anyway. But for people that cares, this is good news. Other people that were looking on the C50 and it turned them off just because the C50 doesn't have an eyepiece, now you have it. So the camera has native ISO of 800 on S-Log2. Canon didn't announce whether they will be bringing the dual native ISO or triple native ISO. As far as I know, up to now, this is all you got. If your image is not bright enough, I will advise you just get the lights. Most of the time, if you go beyond native ISO, you're gonna ruin your image. The camera records RAW internally and external ProRes RAW. Wow, ProRes. And just a little stupid feature that I've seen on this camera that for you might be nothing, and this is a feature that I use a lot and I rely on it a lot. I don't know how much I can stress it. The waveform. The waveform help you to see how much you're exposing your image, how your image is gonna be looked like. So in a darkness situation, you don't want to go beyond 0. In a more bright environment, you don't want to go beyond 100. Of course, it depends with the mood of the scene that you want to film. So when I saw this little thing had waveform, I was like, beautiful. Thank you, Canon. So for the high-end filmmakers like myself, I don't shoot weddings, I don't shoot corporate videos. For some reason, it's just my taste, how I like to work in this filmmaking space. I don't see this little camera as, I'm sorry to call this little, yes, because the size is very small. I don't see to use this camera in my production as an A camera or B camera because of the only one thing, and probably you know already, the ND filters. In cameras like what I'm using today is the C100 Mark II, I love it because of the ND filters, and I think this has been my first camera that I've used it in a project with ND filters, and I've seen how useful they are. Once you go ND filters, you will never go back, if you know what I mean. So despite that the body is very small, it can fit very well on the gimbal compared to this C100 Mark II or the C400. I've seen few videos, the C400 can sit pretty well on the gimbal, but I think the R6 Mark III can perfectly balance on my Ronin RS3 without any issues. However, if you're a photographer, I think this is a camera that I will get to do photography, and it's not very expensive. The camera is 2,800, so it's pretty cheap compared to 400 or other cameras that are in the market. So if you are into photography or filmmaking and you're all starting in filmmaking, I think this is the camera to get. I'm curious to know, for someone that has been in the business of filmmaking for quite some time already, would you buy this camera as your A camera, like to depends on it when you have those big budget production, or you have important production that you say, I put all my heart and soul to this production? Would you pick up the R6 Mark III as your A camera or B camera, let's say? I'm curious to know. Let me know in the comment below. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much.